this is sort of what got us into the entire housing bubble to begin with.
This is absolutely what got us into the crisis to begin with. And in fact, there are so many more logical steps that we could take before we go down this path, like fixed securitization, which was the largest form of intermediation for mortgage finance, which still is not functional, not operational. We could also recognize that demographics in the younger age cohorts aren't really favorable to increasing home ownership, and you've got over $1 trillion of student debt.
That's why the Obama administration wants to get these
but in numbers,
weaker credit in.
Right, in numbers, it's not just about the weaker credit. It's about the fact that the numbers aren't there. If you look at household formation, it's falling across all of the younger age cohorts. It's still fairly strong in the 54 and over age cohorts, but we have to recognize that's part of the reality. You also have the investors who have been buying these properties, the 150,000 and lower properties, are bidding up prices, pricing out those home buyers.
So we're really, what we're doing is we're forcing the wrong buyers in, and we're in both cases, because we're forcing people. We're forcing people to go out and buy by, in effect, overly incentivizing them, and then we're forcing investors in by creating terms that for them are also too attractive.
Absolutely. And again, credit availability isn't really there for the younger buyer because the banks don't want to put this on their balance sheet. If there was a securitization market, they would be able to originate to distribute with more information available to investors who could risk price it. But with the Fed's QE where it is, which is artificially holding rates down, with the lack of securitization, we're really trying to accomplish something that you'd have to distort markets pretty heavily to get there.
I have and I agree with Josh's point about credit availability. I've got a slightly different perspective on it, though. Mine is that, to begin with, Fannie and Freddie are mispricing credit risk. The FHA is mispricing credit risk on the low end. They should probably be charging 7% for that money, not 4.5%.
That's right.
Capital requirements are still unknown. The Dodd-Frank rules on risk retention, the so-called QRM rules, are not decided. So if you're Bank America, let's say, and you originate with the intent to securitize, and Barry C. Knapp leaves the C off his application and they give it back, you don't know your capital requirement, the price is too low for you to hold it on your balance sheet.
Wait a second, why hasn't this all been addressed?
And the reps and warranties, they might just give it back to you because I left the C off. So
that's right.
This is all a function of what's going to happen with the FHFA. Does Ed DeMarco keep his job? You know, there's a bunch of related regulatory issues here. So if I were suggesting this back to the Obama administration, I would say, how about you sort out the Dodd-Frank rules? How about you sort out reps and warranties? How about you let those guarantee fees rise higher to the point where banks want to.
Yeah. I mean, it's been arguably 5 years.
What percentage of the Dodd-Frank rules are actually penned in?
About 30%.
Correct.
But none of the Dodd-Frank rules deal with securitization per se. And that's a big piece of the problem. We had 5 years. Well, it has to do with it in the sense of the QRM. We don't know what the QM is. But what I'm talking about is something even more fundamental. The biggest part of the problem that drove the crisis in the credit markets was the fact that investors were buying securities without adequate information about the underlying collateral and without standardized pooling and servicing and rep and warrant agreements. 5 years after the crisis, we left it to the industry to design that. They still haven't. And rather than take the lead...
So in other words, it's buyer beware if you're going out buying mortgage-backed
Absolutely.
securities.
And in fact, we've seen J.P. Morgan come out issuing a new security with really weak reps and warrants, saying that if the loan actually performs for a couple of years, we'll assume that they were well underwritten. Well, that really is putting us right back to where we are, which means we already are seeing the deterioration in underwriting
itself, as it were.
Well, no, but we're not creating contractual standards in favor of investors, transparency, disclosure, and functional markets.
And the bottom line is we are in a recovery at this point, and we've got milestones like Fannie and Freddie being profitable again, so it just pushes the urgency for the regulation aside.
Yeah, but this one isn't even part of the regulation. No one's been trying to address it. And remember, securitization was over a third of all financial intermediation for mortgages. Nothing done.